Yeah, can someone tell me? Siddhant, can you tell me what you expect when what is the binary search tree? Siddhant, are you there? Yes. So can you tell me what is the binary search tree? Quick, quick. I will not revise. Siddhant, not revised. Prachi, can you tell me? Prachi, students, have you revised or not? Because if you have not revised doing today's lesson, you won't understand anything. What is the binary search tree? You can just tell me in your own words. Left subtree of the node contains only nodes with keys lesser than the node's key. Yeah, Siddhant, yeah, this write it like this. Left subtree has lower value than the parent and the right subtree has higher value than the parent. Okay, so this is your binary search tree. So basically today's topic is based on binary search tree. Okay, entirely it is based on binary search tree. So what we are going to study today is a special type of binary search tree. Okay, like I told you yesterday, binary search tree is a binary tree always, but binary tree need not be a binary search tree. So today the type of tree that we are going to study is a special case of binary search tree. Okay, so the tree that we are going to study today is going to be known as a AVL tree. It's known as a AVL tree, or it will be known as a height balanced tree. Height balanced tree. Okay, height balanced tree. So any one of these two names means the same. So what it is? A special type of binary search tree. So remember the property of a binary search tree. The value on the left is lesser than the parent. The value on the right is greater than the parent. So lesser and greater. Okay. And this is your parent. Suppose it is the parent. So that is your binary search tree. Okay. So why we require AVL tree? Let's go into that. Okay. First we'll see why we require AVL tree. Then let's see how to construct a AVL tree and how to delete elements from a AVL tree. Okay. So I will take all your questions at the end of the lecture. So whenever you're having any doubt, you can keep posting your doubts onto the chat and I will try to solve all your doubts. So just imagine that you have been given a set of data, okay, and you have been told to construct a binary search tree. So say the first tree that you're given the data is like this. You have to insert all the numbers from 1 to 9 in this sequence. Okay, this sequence. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So as you know, now you're constructing a binary search tree. Okay, you're constructing a binary search tree of numbers from 1 to 9 in this sequence. So when you construct a binary search tree of this data in this sequence, you will get a tree that looks something like this. Okay, since each number that comes after each next number that comes is greater than the previous number, then you will get all insertions in the right side. So you will get a tree that is something like this. Okay. Say again, I tell you to insert the numbers 1 to 9. Okay, again we are inserting the numbers from 1 to 9, but I change the sequence. I change the sequence to something like this. Okay, 4, 2, 6, 1, 3, 5, 8, 7, 9. So when I change the sequence and I insert the data, I will get the tree like this. Okay, so it's the same numbers are the same. I'm inserting the numbers from 1 to 9, but the sequence of insertion is different. In the first sequence was like you get a tree like this, and in the second sequence you get a tree in this manner. So both are binary search trees. If you look at any place in the tree, the left side is less than the parent and the right side is greater than the parent. So this is your parent node or the root node. Okay. Now there is an advantage to this tree compared to this tree. Okay. What is that advantage? If you look at the number of comparisons that you require to reach a particular node, okay, this tree requires more comparisons to reach the nodes. If suppose you are trying to reach all the nodes compared to this tree. For example, to reach node 1, you require only one comparison. Okay, to reach node 2, first you will compare with 1, then you will compare with 2. So you require 2 comparisons, and so on. So each node here, that many number of comparisons are required. So to reach node 9, you will do 9 comparisons. Okay, first you will compare whether 9 is here, then you will compare whether 9 is here, and so on, and you keep comparing till you reach here. So you will do 9 comparisons. So if you check the total number of comparisons divided by the number of nodes, there are 9 nodes here. So you get total number of comparisons is 45 divided by 9, the total number of nodes in the tree. The average number of comparisons to reach the node is 5 in this tree. Whereas if you take this tree, okay, you can just check to reach node 4, I require 1 comparison. Okay, then to reach nodes on this level here, I require to do 1 comparison here, second comparison. So I put here 2. Again to reach 6, I require 2 comparisons. I will compare here. So I will get 2. And all the nodes here, 4 nodes are there. I require 3 comparisons. So that's why I put here 3. You can see here there are 4 nodes. All of them require 3 comparisons from starting from the root node. Okay. Always when I'm talking from the comparison start from the root node. So I will start here, here, here. So 3. Similarly here, here, here. I'm comparing 3. So like that there are 4 nodes. So therefore 3 is written 4 times. Similarly these 2 nodes I require 4 comparisons each. 2 nodes, so 4 plus 4. The total number of comparisons that I require is 25. Okay, and the number of nodes is again same, 9. When you divide 25 by 9, the total average number of comparisons that you require is 2.77, which is obviously much less than this. Okay, so what we have done is here, depending on the type of sequence you order, the data was the same. We were inserting the numbers from 1 to 9, but the sequences of the numbers were different. So here the height of the tree was controlled. Okay, height of the tree was controlled. So because the height of the tree was controlled by inserting the data in this manner, we got a better comparison ratio, you can say. Okay, so whenever you want to insert, you want to search, or you want to delete data, this tree is more efficient compared to this one. Okay, so that's why some mathematicians, actually there are, the names are given here at the bottom of the slide. Okay, so these two mathematicians, Russian mathematicians, G.M. Adelson-Welsky and E.M. Landis. Okay, in 1962 they discovered this property that if you control the height of the binary search tree, okay, it becomes more efficient for searching or for inserting the data. Okay, because we are not able, now this sequence was pre-decided, but always we are not able to pre-decide the sequence to make the tree more efficient. But using a technique that these two mathematicians discovered, it's possible to control the height of the tree so that it becomes more efficient. Okay, and taking from their names, this A, B and L, okay, therefore this tree, this special type of tree where you control the height, is known as a AVL tree. Okay, I did not remember this. I don't think anyone will ask you for the exams, but just you should know it. Okay, and it is also therefore known, because we are controlling the height, therefore it is also known as a height balanced binary search tree. It is a binary search tree, don't forget, I'm repeating, it is a binary search tree. AVL tree is a binary search tree, but it's a special type of a binary search tree where the height is controlled. Okay, going to the next slide, you can just read here. I've already informed you about this thing. You can just read this para on top, read these 3 lines on top. So what we try to do is maintain the height of the left and right subtrees, that they are almost the same. Okay. So if we have already studied these definitions, full binary tree or complete binary tree. So if you remember, those trees are almost similar to this AVL tree, but these full binary tree or complete binary tree are ideal trees. Okay, they are ideal trees. So it's not really possible to do it in practicals, full binary tree or complete binary tree. It's not possible to do it always, but these AVL trees almost achieve what we, this ideal situation is almost achieved through this AVL tree. Okay, now let's come to the definition of a AVL tree and how to identify whether a given binary search tree is an AVL tree. So this is the definition of the AVL tree. So basically an AVL tree is a binary search tree where the difference in the height of the left and the right subtree of any node can be at most 1. Okay, remember this, height of the left and right subtrees of any node can be at most 1. Okay, now let me tell you, this 1 does not mean it has to be 1 only. There are 3 values that a AVL tree node can have. Okay, and you need to note down this. While writing the definition, you will write it like this, how it is given here. Obviously you won't write this part. Okay, the rest of the line is your definition, but the 3 values that a node in a AVL tree can have is +1, +1, 0 or -1. So these are the values that a node in a AVL tree can have. So that's why they are saying at most 1. So you can see the range of the nodes is at most 1. So while writing, you will not write just 1. You are going to write whether it's a +1 or a -1. Okay. To make sure, even if it's a positive 1, you're not going to write it just like this. You have to make sure that you put a plus sign. So it could be +1 0 or -1. Okay, I'll show you in the next diagram, in this diagram, how to calculate these values. It's very simple. So now let's see how to calculate and check whether this given tree is a AVL tree. Okay, let's start from the root node. This is your node. So I'm calculating the value for here. So you're calculating these values 1, +1, 0 or -1. This is known as balance factor. This is something known as a balance factor. So the balance factor of a node, okay, in many of the textbooks they refer to that these values as balance factor. In this textbook they have not mentioned it like that, but you can remember that these are the balance factor values. Okay, so the way to calculate a balance factor is you have to find out, the formula is height of the left subtree, so height of the left subtree minus the height of the right subtree. When you're calculating the balance factor of any node, height of the left subtree minus height of the right subtree. Okay, note down this formula and keep. This is the formula used to calculate these values. Okay, again I'll repeat if you are writing it down. Balance factor equal to height of the left subtree minus height of the right subtree. Okay, so now I'll show you to calculate for 1 or 2 nodes. Remaining nodes I would ask you to calculate on your own so that you all are comfortable. And then you need to calculate the balance factors now throughout this lecture. So please, if you are having any doubts, you can let me know. Okay, so I'll show you to calculate a balance factor for this. First, we'll calculate for this node. Okay, the root node. Or let's start from the leaf node. Okay, I'll start from the leaf node. Let's calculate for 12. Now, you know 12 is a leaf node. 12 is not having any children. So it's not having any subtree here. It's not having a left subtree. It's not having a right subtree. Nothing is present. When you're calculating the balance factor for 12, okay, I'm calculating now balance factor for 12. There is no left subtree. So I will write 0 minus no right subtree. So 0 minus 0 is 0. So balance factor you will write like this on top of the node. Okay, so since it is not having any left subtree and right subtree, balance factor will be 0. Now if you check that for any leaf node, 12 is a leaf node. Okay, for any leaf node the balance factor will be 0. You can directly, the first part, whenever you are to calculate balance factor, all the leaf nodes you can identify in the tree, directly label them with the balance factor as equal to 0. Okay, need not calculate also. You want, you can calculate, but you can directly write it as 0. Okay, now so once you have done that, you have calculated the balance factors for all the leaf nodes. You are having 4 leaf nodes. Okay, so once you have calculated the balance factor of the leaf nodes, calculate for the remaining nodes. So you are having 4 nodes that are remaining: 15, 20, 56, 78. Okay, I'll show you how to calculate for 15. So now when you're calculating for 15, you only look at this much portion of the tree. Okay, you are having 15 and whatever is attached to 15, the descendants of 15. So only there is one descendant of 15, that is 12. Rest of the tree you need not look. Okay, please remember what I'm telling you. This is what most of you get confused at. When you're calculating the balance factor for 15, you take 15 and whatever descendants are attached to 15, those descendants you will take. So if there were more nodes that were attached here, suppose, then all those nodes you would have taken. Okay. Now there is just one node attached to 15, so you take only that one node. Do not take the parent of 15. We do not need the nodes that are above 15. All the nodes that are below 15 and that are connected to it, that are the descendants of 15. Okay. I hope I'm making myself clear. So now how you calculate the balance factor? So first of all, look at the height of this tree. Okay, calculate the height of this tree. So if you remember, we had discussed this. So first you will write the levels. This is the root node, so it will be at level 0. This is at level 1. Okay. The height of this tree, if you remember, height of the tree was calculated as maximum level plus 1. Okay. We were calculating the height like that. Now you don't bother about that, okay, because you get the same answer. So just write down the levels. You have 15, which is at level 0, 12 at level 1, and your balance factor formula is like this: height of the left subtree minus height of the right subtree. Now the left part, this is your left branch. Okay, you are having only one node, and the maximum level of the left subtree of 15 is 1. Okay, this is your left subtree and it is present at level 1. So you will write here 1. Okay, now it's not having right subtree, so you will write here minus 0. Since it is not having right subtree, you will write 1 minus 0. So you will get here 1. So it is nothing but plus 1. The height of the balance factor of 15 will be plus 1. Okay. So can you calculate for the remaining nodes? 20, 56, 78, and let me know. You did not show this like this diagram separately. Okay, I'm just showing you because you all are doing it for the first time. You can do it mentally here on this tree itself and write down the values. You need not show any of these calculations unless you have got only this much as the question. If you have got only this as the question, identify whether the given tree is a ABL tree and you have got it for 8 marks, then you are supposed to show all the calculations. Otherwise, if you have got to construct a ABL tree, then you did not show all this calculation because this part is not the main part. Constructing the ABL tree will be the main part. So can you all calculate for 20, 56 and 78? And I'll ask people from the online to tell me the balance factors. And if you're having any doubt, you're not understood, you can let me know. So Athena, can you tell me the balance factor for 20? Okay, Athena says it is -1. Let's check. Okay, let's check. So this is 20 here. Okay, now write down the levels here. So you are writing the levels. So 20 is at 0. Then the next level is 1, 2 and 3. Okay, so height of the left subtree, whatever is connected on the left side of 20 is this side. Okay, I'm drawing a line here. This is what is connected at the left side of 20. So maximum on the left side is at 2. Okay, maximum on the left side is the node 12 and it is at level 2. So you're calculating as 2 minus 2 minus on the right side of 20. So what is there on the right side of 20? At maximum level is at 3. Okay, these nodes are at the level 3. So 2 minus 3, you get the answer as minus 1. So you will write here as minus 1. Okay, I hope you got it. So similarly, now calculate for 56. Again, now the levels will change. You cannot use these numbers. You draw only the tree containing 56 and all the nodes, all the descendants of 56, like I showed you here. So Chintan, can you tell me what is the value for 56? Okay, again it is minus 1. So how you get minus 1? Again you label it, okay? Don't look at this portion. So you label starting from here. So you are having 56. You are having 45. You are having 78. 65. And you are having 96. So write down the levels 0, 1, 2, okay, and calculate. So maximum level of the left subtree is at 1. So you're having 1 minus maximum of the right. This is your right subtree. Okay, attached to the right branch. This is your right branch. So whatever is attached to the right branch is your right subtree for 56. So it is maximum is at 2. So 1 minus 2 you get as minus 1. Okay, 20 is minus 1 and 56 is also minus 1. What is 78? I think 78 is pretty simple. It will be 0. Will be 0. Are you getting that? Enid, Jamano, Hayden, Easton, Ajinkya, Aman. Okay, let's proceed. Have you understood? This is very important for today's lecture, understanding how to calculate the balance factor. So anyone is having any doubt about how to calculate the balance factor? Have you understood how it is to be calculated for each node? Before I proceed to the next slide. So now we'll start constructing a ABL tree. And you need to know how to calculate a balance factor. Okay, it's fine. Okay, let's proceed. Okay, now there are, when you are constructing ABL tree, okay, sometimes the tree gets unbalanced. So what you mean by unbalanced is you get a value which is not plus 1, 0 or minus 1. Okay, when you don't get any of these values, when you're calculating the balance factor, then we call the tree as unbalanced. When the tree gets unbalanced, you need to balance it. You need to balance the height again. So the balancing of the height is done by with the help of rotations. Okay, there are different rotations. So basically there are 4 types of rotations. So there are all these rotations which I'll explain you in the next slide. Okay, for now you just note it down, then I'll tell you how to use these rotations. Okay, now these rotations were already discovered by those mathematicians, so we're not going into the history of how they were discovered. We're just going to see how they are going to be used to balance the trees. Okay. So I need you all to copy down these rotations quickly on your books and refer to them when we are going to use them in the future in the same lecture. So this is something known as a LL rotation. Okay. So basically, suppose you are having this. You can see here, if you calculate, I'll just show you for this. Suppose you are doing the calculation of this. Can you tell me the balance factors for all these three nodes here? Okay, A, B and C. Can you calculate quickly? Start from here, start from C. What is the balance factor for C? Then calculate balance factor for B, then calculate balance factor for A. Can you do it quickly? Copy it down also. Yeah, so can you tell me, Suraya, Steven, Srishti, what is the balance factors? 0, 1, 2. Yes, correct. It is 0, 1, 2. Okay. So as you can see, this will be 0, this will be 1, and this will be 2. Now when you are writing, please make sure you are writing this as +1 and +2. If you don't put that plus sign, it is wrong. Okay. For 0, you did not put any sign, but for the other numbers, you have to put whether it's a plus or a minus. By default, this is not +1 in AVL tree. You need to specify that it is +1. Okay. Now you can see that this is a problem. Okay. So why we call it as a LL rotation? Okay. Because this node has a problem. Okay. This is the left branch and this is the left branch again. So L. So by inserting this node in the tree, okay, when you will see this in future, by inserting this node in the tree, in the left side of B, and again B is in the left of A. So because we inserted this node in the tree, in the left and left with respect to A, the tree got unbalanced. Therefore, we call it as LL rotation. Okay, and the way we solve it is for balancing, we rotate it like this. So A will come as a right child, B will come as the parent, and C will be the left child. Okay, so many of you will be thinking, what is this that is all happening? So it just makes sense. See, if this is a binary search tree, just say it's a binary search tree. So this, suppose this value is 20. So on the left of 20, there will be some value which is less than it. Okay, so say it is 15. And again, since C is in the left of B, again this value has to be less than 15. So say it is 10. Okay, so when we rotate it, what happens? 15 will come here. 20, which is greater than 15, goes on the right side, and 10, which is less than 15, goes on the left side. Okay, so that is the way the rotation works. Okay, I'm just telling you how it actually makes sense. So basically, this is a simple version of LL rotation. We could have had more nodes attached to this. Okay, I could have had more nodes attached to this. So if there are more nodes attached to that, then the rotation will look something like this. Okay, so I need you all to take a screenshot, or I need you to write this down quickly. LL rotation. You need not write this G and this you need not write. Leave out this part. Don't write this. So this is your LL rotation. So what these numbers stand for? That C is having a left child, which is 1. C is having a right child, 2. B is having a right child, which is 3. And A is having a right child, which is 4. So if they were all having some children like this, then the rotation would look like this. You would add these nodes like this. Okay. Then similarly, your RR rotation will look like that, like this. Just note it down. Again, don't copy this value G, P, and N, which these values that are there. Don't write down this. Just note down this. So in simple form, it looks like this, your RR rotation. Adding a new node C to the tree, and it will cause a unbalance like we have seen in the previous. Okay. So we'll see it with the help of an example. For now, you just write it like this. Now there's one important thing that I have not told you. LL and RR rotation are both single rotations. Okay. So LL and RR rotations are both single rotations. So if you have noted this, I'll go to the next one. Next one is a LR rotation. So in LR rotation, we have added this as a new node. This is added as a right child of B, and B is the left child of A. And the problem occurs in this node. Okay, the problem occurs in this node. So therefore we call it as LR. LR. This is the node that was inserted into the tree, which caused the unbalanced. So we solve it by rotating like this. So if they were having more children nodes, then it would look something like this. Do not again write down these values. You don't need this. So either take a screenshot or you write it down quickly on your books. So this is an example of double rotation. So there is LR and there is another rotation known as RL. So these both are double rotations. Again, actually, this is not the way it would have been done in your textbooks or any other books that you refer. Okay, I've just simplified this for you, and I'm showing you how this LR rotation works. I'm showing you the final answer here. But if you refer to any of the other books and all, there is one more rotation that is done. Okay, one rotation is done in between, and then this rotation is done. Now to do all that is very confusing when you're solving this AVL tree, and especially since we are doing it online. Okay, that's why I'm not showing you, because you will get confused. So I'm directly showing you what you should be getting the final answer. That's why right now it looks like a single rotation, because I have here one original tree where the problem had occurred at A, and then I'm showing you the final answer, what it should look like. This will be the balanced tree, AVL tree. Okay, so although I'm telling you it's a double rotation, I'm just showing you one rotation here, which is the final answer. But if you check out on your books and all, they'll show you both the rotations. Okay, in both, that's why it is known as double rotations. Okay, there is one more rotation I'll show you later. okay, as we are solving this. So let's start solving. Okay, so the first, we have been told to insert these values into a AVL tree. So you can just copy down these values and we'll start solving. Every time after inserting a value, you have to check whether the balance factor is +1, 0 or -1. If the balance factor is not +1, 0 or -1, in other words, it is unbalanced, then you need to apply the appropriate rotation. Okay, so I'm repeating. After inserting, if the balance factor is proper, then you can continue with the next insertion. So by proper, I mean it should have these three values: +1, 0 or -1. So if it is not any of these values, if it is something like +2 and all, then you need to do rotation. Otherwise, you need not do this. If it is these values, you continue to do your remaining insertion. Otherwise, you apply the rotation. If it is balance is not coming proper, apply the rotation, balance it, and then you go to do the next insertion. Okay, we'll see it how it is being done. So you start from this first value, you have to start inserting. Now remember, when you're creating a AVL tree, it's a binary search tree. So when you're creating a AVL tree, you're creating a binary search tree, but having balance factor for each node. So the way you're going to insert is the same like a binary search tree. Okay, the rules are the same. So your first value here, 14, will become the root node. Okay, please put this as circles. Okay, in my PPT it will come as rectangles or squares, but you put it as circles or oval shaped. Okay, so the first value will come as 14. So once you have inserted this value, calculate the balance factor of 14. So calculate the balance factor. Balance factor of 14 will be 0. So 0 is a proper balance factor value. It is falling in this proper values of +1, 0 or -1. So when it is proper, you go for the next insertion. So you take 17 and insert it into the tree. So now, since you're constructing a binary search tree, 17 will be inserted on the right side of 14. So 17 will be inserted here. Okay. Now pay attention to what I'm telling you next. Once you have inserted a new node, this is your new node in the tree. First, calculate the balance factor of the new node. Okay. So calculate the balance factor of this new node. Please draw this, what I'm showing you, stepwise. So first step I showed you how to insert 14. So now this is your second step. Please make this as circles like I told you. Calculate a balance factor of 17. So you will get this value as 0. Okay. Once you have calculated a balance factor of 17, you have to trace the path backwards all the way back to the root. You have to reach the root of this tree. Now in this tree, there is just one more node besides 17, that is 14, and 14 is the root. Okay. So otherwise, if there were more nodes, you have to go backwards along the path. I'll show you how it is to be done. All the way, calculating the values of all the nodes on the path till you reach the root. Okay, so now you have calculated for 0. In the second step, now we are doing the second step. You calculate a value for the 14 again. Now 14's value will change. It will not remain same. So you calculate height of the left subtree minus height of the right subtree. So it is 0 minus 1. You get the answer here as -1. So you check now whether this value is also proper. Yes, it is proper. Since it is proper, I will go to insert the third value, that is 11. Okay. So when you're inserting 11, that will be my third step. You have to show each insertion, and you can write also. Now in the third step, you're going to insert 11. Okay. Now when you're inserting 11, 11 is less than 14, so 11 will be inserted on the left side of 14. Okay. So let me show you that. So 11 is inserted on the left side. Now again, this will be your third step. You need to draw the tree again every time. Okay. Now this is your new node. This one is your new node. So calculate the balance factor for this. When calculate a balance factor, it will be 0. Why it is 0? Because it is a leaf node. I told you already previously, we have discussed this. Leaf node balance factor is 0. Now once you have calculated this value, check here whether it is proper. Okay, it should be one of these three values. Since it is proper, trace the path back to the root. Trace the path back to the root. Calculate the value of this now, 14. Okay. So now when you calculate the value of 14, height of the left subtree minus height of the right subtree, the balance factor will become 0. You need to calculate from the new node. You need to calculate from the new node all the way to the root. Only those nodes that come on the path from the new node to the root. Do not calculate the values for the other nodes. So from 11, as we go backwards to the root, there are just two nodes that are there, 11 and 14. So 17 is not coming on the path between 11 and 14. So I'm not changing this value. This value remains the same. Please note what I'm telling. Otherwise, you will be wasting time calculating value of 17. So to calculate from the new node that you have just recently inserted all the way backwards to the root node. So you could have many nodes on that path, calculate of all those and see that those values are valid balance factor values. If you take care of that, then ABL tree is very easy to do. Okay. So till here are you all getting it? Hopefully. I'll come to the chat. If you are not understood anything, you can just let me know. So anyone is having any questions? Hola, okay. Understanding? Sejal, Siddesh, Savi, Samiksha, Saish, Roshni, Rohan, Ruban, Reef, Ria. Fine? Getting it? Vibhuti, Yash, Suraya, Suhanch. Okay, let's continue then. Okay. So I showed you till here. Okay. So like that you have to keep inserting. You are just inserting values in binary search tree. Imagine that this is a binary search tree because it is a special type of binary search tree. Next you are going to insert is 7. 7 will be inserted on the left side of 11. So here. So now where are you going to calculate the values? Okay, I'll tell you. You have to calculate and tell me quickly. So you can write here, this is your fourth step. And you can write here insert 7 and then draw this tree. Insert 7, draw this tree. Then start calculating from here. Calculate a balance factor for this node. You have to go all the way back to the root node. So you have to go to calculate for this node, and this node. So these are the values as you go backwards to the root node. These are the nodes that are coming on the path from 7 to 14. 14 is your root and this is your new node. As you are going backwards from the new node to the root, 11 is on that path from between 7 and 14. You need to calculate a balance factor of these three nodes and check that it is a valid balance factor. If it is a valid balance factor, you're fine. You can proceed for the next insertion. Otherwise, you need to do balancing. So can you calculate for 7, 11 and 14? Quickly, okay? And put it in the chat. So I'll be extending today's class a little while. Okay. So please, if you all want a drinks break or something, just go quickly and come back. So I will calculated. I will calculated the values for 7, 11 and 14. Type on the chat. You got the answers. 0, 1, 1. Okay. Okay, like I told you, it should be written as +1. So you all are making a mistake. Okay, please remember, it should be written as +1 or -1. So it should not be written like this. It should be written as +1 or -1. Okay, so these are valid numbers. Okay, so these are valid numbers. So we can proceed for the next insertion. So can you try to insert and check insert 53? Insert it in the proper place and check the balance factor again, whether it is valid or not. I'll ask Ritika now to tell me. So Ritika, insert 53 and tell me what will be the balance factor, whether the tree will remain balanced. And you're going to calculate of which nodes the balance factor. Ritika, can you tell me which nodes you're going to calculate a balance factor after inserting 53?
Sir, I can't see a presentation for some reason. I don't know.
You can't see my presentation. So, I mean, how you are understanding this topic, Ritika? Just try to pin my presentation onto your screen wherever on the Google Meet.
So no, it recently just went. It was there for some time.
So now can you see?
Not yet, sir. I'll just rejoin the meeting
Okay,
again.
okay, yeah. So someone else, Ruben, can you tell which are the nodes you will calculate the balance factors after you insert 53? So again, like I told you, please make this as circles. Okay. By mistake, they become all rectangles. So please make it as circles because trees are not drawn as like this. Make it as circles or ovals. So where do you insert 53, Ruben? Ruben, Reeve. Students, are you there? Can you hear me? Prajwal. Where are you inserting 53 and what are the nodes you're going to check the balance factor? Do you all want me to tell? Can you all hear me, students? Yes, 53, 17 and 14. Yes, okay. So you are going to calculate for this 53, 17 and 14. Check whether it is balanced or not. So you are going to check for 53, 17 and 14. So you are going to start from here. So this will be 0. Okay. Then you calculate for this. This will be -1. And again this will be 0. So once you are done with that, you go to insert 4. Okay. Next step. So again you have to redraw the tree. Please note, for every step, every insertion, you have to keep redrawing the tree. You cannot show it on one diagram itself. So now next step, once you have checked that the balance factors of all these nodes is proper, you're going to go to the next insertion. So now you're going to try to insert 4. Okay. In the next step, you're going to insert 4 here. When you insert 4, you're going to calculate the balance factors for these nodes all the way to the root. So these are the nodes that are there on the path from 4 to 14. So all these nodes that are there on the path from 4 to 14, you're going to calculate the balance factors for those nodes. Okay. You start from the new node. Always start from the bottom and you have to go towards the root. Don't start towards the top first. We start here, you will calculate this as 0. This will be +1. Okay. Now what will be the balance factor for 11? It will come as +2. Okay. Now you can see that this is unbalanced. The tree is become unbalanced because this is not a valid balance factor value. So we need to balance it. So if we are going to balance it, we have to use one of the 4 rotations. So you have to identify which one of the 4 rotations you are going to apply. Okay. So how you identify which of the 4 rotations you are going to apply? This is the new node that you have put inside the tree, inserted inside the tree. It is inserted as the left side of 7. And 7 is the left of 11. And this is the node with the problem. Balance factor is not proper. So you have to first correct the balance factor here before you check the remaining node that is left, that is 14. So you do not check this balance factor till you correct this portion here. Okay. I hope you're getting it, what I just told you. So I'll just repeat again. When you inserted this new node here, you're calculating the balance factors all the way back up to the root. So as you're calculating, these balance factors here are proper. So as long as they are proper, you are going and checking of the next node which is there on that path. When you reach here, you find that balance factor is not proper. So now you need to calculate the balance factor of this portion of the tree before you check the remaining nodes that are left for the balancing. So one node that is left is 14. So before you check 14, you will correct the balancing here. To correct the balancing, you have to apply a rotation. We know there are 4 rotations. One of those 4 rotations has to be applied. How you identify? 4 has been inserted as the left of 7. 7 is in the left of 11. So that means you are going to apply the LL rotation. Okay. Please note it down what I'm telling. So when you're applying the LL rotation, it's something like this. Okay. So the node that had a problem, you're going to call it as A. So the node that the balance factor came wrong will be A. Below that, that node you will call as B. And the new node that you have inserted will be C. So just to show you in this diagram here, the node that had the problem will be, this will be A. Okay. The below that will be B. Below that, the new node will be C. I'm just following this from this here. Okay, I'm just looking at this. When you rotate it, you're going to only rotate this portion of the tree. So you're going to rotate it like this. So B will become the root, C will be the left, A will be the right. And once you have done this rotation, you will attach it to the rest of the tree. So B will be attached to the rest of the tree. So basically what will happen here is, okay, so like I've told you, this is the rotation. So you are going to rotate this portion of the tree. Once you have rotated this tree nodes, you're going to attach the root, that is B, as the left child of 14. Okay, so I'll show you that in the next step. So here you're going to write in your books, you're going to write that this, you're going to circle it, that there is a problem. You can draw one arrow like this, tell that you're applying LL rotation. Okay, to tell that you're applying LL rotation, and then you apply the LL rotation. So when you apply the LL rotation, it will look like this. So basically your B is come here. Okay, just like this here, this rotation that we have here. B will come on the as the root, A will come as the right, and C will come as the left. Okay, so I'm applying the rotation for these three nodes. B will be the root, so 7, it will look like this. 7, 4 will be on the left, and 11 will be on the right. Okay, and this portion I will attach to 14. Rest of the tree I will draw as it is. Only I am applying the rotation to this part like this. So when I apply it, it will look like this. Okay, this will be B, C, and A. And now when you calculate the balance factors, you can do and see. When you calculate the balance factors, it will be balanced. You can calculate, this will be 0, this will be 0, this will be 0, again this also will be 0. So the tree is balanced. Is it clear? So I'll just come to the chat. So since this is the first time we are applying a rotation, and you can let me know if you are having any doubt. Did you all get the rotation? How it is to be applied? Any doubts about the rotation? Okay, so let's continue. Next, we are going to try and insert is 13. So 13 will be inserted as the right of 11. Okay, so you calculate the balance factors again. So which are the nodes you are going to calculate the balance factors? 13, 11, 7, 14. All the nodes from the new node till you reach the root. You have to trace the path, whatever path is there from the new node till the root. Calculate the balance factors only of these 4 nodes from the new node till the root. And if there is any problem, then you have to apply a rotation. So is there any problem? Can you calculate and tell me quickly? Is there any problem in the rotation here? You can look at the diagram and calculate. 13, what is the value that is coming? 13. Balance factor for 13. So Aniket has already calculated 0, -1, -1, +1. Okay. Is that the same value everyone is getting? Okay. So that means when you have calculated those values 0, -1, -1, +1, okay, you can calculate, you will get the same values. So that means the tree is balanced. So you can proceed for the next. Okay, if there were any more insertions, you could have proceeded for the more insertions. Okay. So this is the RL rotation. This is one of the rotations that I had not shown you previously. You can just note down this quickly. RL rotation. So this is also a double rotation. So LL and RR are single rotation. LR and RL are double rotations. Okay. Now you try to insert 12. So when you insert 12, you will get it here. Okay, you will get 12 here. Now you calculate the balance factors. So you get 0, +1. Okay. What is the balance factor for 11? Can you tell me what is the balance factor for 11? Balance factor for 11 will be -2. Balance factor for 11 will be -2. Okay, -2, correct. It will be -2. Height of the left subtree minus height of the right subtree. So remember, now this is whatever is connected to the right side of 11. This thing is the right subtree of 11. Okay, to look at this branch, whatever is connected here, this is the right. So with respect to 11 is not having anything on the left. Okay. If anyone is getting confused, then 11 is not having on the left, nothing is there. Everything is connected on the right of 11. This is the right branch of 11. Whatever is connected is on the right branch. Well, maybe the left of 13, but it is on the right of 11. Okay. So you have to balance it now. Since there's a problem, you have to balance it before you go further. So you cannot go and check these two values of 7 and 14. First you balance it here. Okay. Now how are you going to balance it? Identify 12 is inserted on the left of 13. 12 is inserted on the left of 13. 13 is on the right of 11. Then you read from here R, L. You are reading R, L. You are going to apply the RL rotation. Okay. R, L. You are going to apply RL rotation to these nodes. Wherever the problem has occurred, that node will be A. Okay. Wherever the balancing is not proper, that node will be A. The below node will be B. Below that will be C. Remember, I am repeating. The problem occurred here. So 11 is A, 13 is B, 12 is C. Okay. Once you have done that and you know you are applying RL, you have to know this by heart now. Okay, when you are going for your exam, you need to know this by heart. They will do this rotation like this. A, B, C will be rotated like this. When you are doing the rotation, basically what you are doing is lesser value comes on the left side of C and the greater value goes on the right side of C. So you will have C as the root, A will be the left and B will be the right. So when you apply this rotation, C will be the root, A will be the left and B will be the right. Okay, so you draw one arrow like this, write here RL rotation, and then apply rotation to these three nodes. Whatever answer you get, attach it to 7. So when you attach it, it will look like this. Okay, C will be here, A and B. Now if you calculate the values, you will find that all the values will come proper. This will be 0, this will be 0, this will also be 0, this will be -1 and this will be +1. So all these values are proper. So the tree is balanced. Now, some of you may have a question. What we do when are these things to be used? Okay, these things. There is this number set. Till now we are not using those things. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. So when are those to be used? So suppose we had like this. Okay, just for example, say I had a value here, say 9. Say I had here some value. Okay, say 14. Okay, so just say I had these two values. Then you would look at this diagram of yours. Okay, so the left child of A is 1. So you would have called this is A, right? If you remember, I have called this as A. 11 is A. The left child of A is 1 according to this diagram here. So you would have called this 9 as 1. You would have labeled this as 1. Okay. Similarly, 13 is your B. 13 is your B. So right child of B is what in your diagram? Right child of B is 4. You would have called that as, you have called 14 as 4. Okay. So now when you do this rotation, you would follow this. Okay. So you are having just two nodes. You are not having this two entry is not there. So you will not have this 2 entry in the final answer also. When you apply the rotation, you would do C, A and B, and 1 would have been added as the left child of A and 4 would have been added as the right child of B. So you would have got C is 12, okay, then A is 11, B is 13, and left child of A is 1, which is 9, and right child of B is 14, which is 4. Now I would have just followed this diagram like this. Okay, so that is how when you are going to use this other nodes. Okay, so just common sense actually. If you can understand, hopefully on this online class, it's good. So if you have not understood, you can just let me know. I can try to explain you again. So like that you have to insert your values in a ABL tree and balance it every time. Okay, I can insert 8 and check, insert 8. Last insertion we'll check before we stop for today's lecture. So can you tell me the balance values for 8, whether it's proper? Is it proper or no? If you check, you will get a problem. Okay, so can you tell me what type of rotation you will apply, and can you apply the rotation by yourselves now? If you check, you will get an error like this. What type of rotation will you apply? Can you tell me? Here you are getting -2, right? So there is a problem. Okay. Can anyone tell me in the chat? Not LL, not LL. Okay, I'll tell you. I'll tell you. See. This is the new node. So you start calculating from here. So you get 0 plus 1 plus 1. Okay. So as long as you're getting proper values, you keep going higher up the tree, checking the values. So I've got the proper balance factors. I keep going higher and checking for the next node's balance factor. Okay. When I reach here, I get the value as -2. Okay, which is a problem. So now you have to identify the rotation. So when you are identifying the rotation with respect to 7, so this problem node will be A. Always, wherever the problem occurs, balance is not proper, it will be A. Okay. Now, this is the path along which you came, checking the balance. This is the path that you have come. So this 12 is connected on the right side of 7. Okay. The next node on that path is on the left side of 12. So once you have identified this R, and this will be L. Okay. So this node value will be A. Next node will be B. And this will be C. Okay. So this is R, this is L. So you're going to apply RL. Once you have labeled this A, B, C. Now you can see that in the subtree of 7, there are more nodes that are present. There is 4, 8 and 13. 4 is there, 8 is there, and 13 is there. So you cannot ignore them. So for that you have to apply your, look at this diagram of yours. Look at this diagram of yours of RL rotation. Look at this diagram of your RL rotation. You have to identify now whether these nodes that are there is 1, 2, 3 or 4. Okay. So once you have identified your A, B and C, then you see left child of A will be 1, right child of B is 4. And similarly, you have left and right child of C as 2 and 3. So label this 1, 2, 3 and 4. So look here, left child of A is 4, which is 1. C's left child is 2. B's right child is 4. Okay. I'm just looking at this thing here. A's left child is 1. C's left child is 2. We are not having this one. We are not having this. and B's right child is 4. So once I have labeled it, then I'm going forward and balancing it. Okay. Once I have labeled it, I will balance it. So I will apply here RL rotation. This is RL rotation, and I will balance it according to this rotation diagram. When I rotate it, it will look like, okay. I'll just remove all the ink from this slide. You can make out. This is the labeling for it. And then once you balance it, it will look like this. Okay. Just like your, you can check out here later. CAB 1, 2 and 4. It will be CAB 1, 2 and 4. So this will be CAB 1, 2 and 4. And once you have balanced it, you connect it to the rest of the nodes. So 7 was connected to 14. So therefore, once you have done this balancing, you connect it back to the left side of 14. Okay. So in the next lecture, I will show you the deletion. Okay. Deletion is similar to this. So I would request everyone to study these rotations.